I've said this quite a few times on this channel and dozens of times on social media, and I'll say it until I'm blue in the face. Tyler Perry's writing has declined tremendously. Movie after movie after movie, it's just going from bad to worse. And I feel like he needs to hire some professional writers because at this point, he needs to cancel his Final Draft subscription and get a writer's room. He's cutting and pasting the same archetypes. He's using the same plots and the same characters and just changing their names. And the stories are like run on at this point. They are leading over to the next project continuously. It's his writing has declined because he writes everything and he's got several TV series on networks and he's doing a few movies a year and he's writing and directing everything. I think it's burnout. And his new movie, Divorce in the Black, is proving that he doesn't have it anymore. I think the last time his writing was to the par was The Family That Prays over a decade ago. It's been that long. He, it's just getting worse. He had Mia Culpa earlier this year and now Divorce in the Black. And you'd say, well, why are you even watching it? You're helping him. And I am the problem. I hate watch these films knowing that he is writing them, and even after I see the trailer, because he's also a kingmaker. He is paying, particularly Black actresses, he's paying them more than scale, more than they've ever made on any project. And his leading actress in this film, Megan Good, has been acting since she was a teenager. She's been in the industry for 30 years, and she just got paid for this project more than she's ever been paid in 3 decades. So I appreciate that he does that. He's definitely a kingmaker, and I love what he does as a philanthropist. I love that he has a studio here in Georgia. I love everything that he's doing. Literally hires more Black people in the industry in front of and behind the camera than any other studio on a particular project. So he's doing good in that respect, but his writing is on decline. And he is producing these trauma-ridden projects that are so dated in 2024. In Divorce in the Black, Megan Good plays a wife, long-suffering wife, really, who's in a toxic relationship. Her husband is played by Corey Hardrick. Everyone in this project has had, or is going through currently, the principal cast is going through public divorces. And they're using this as a vehicle to tell this very toxic story. She's in a toxic relationship. Her husband is abusive. He wants out of the marriage, and she struggles to keep it because she was raised Christian and doesn't believe in divorce. And what the bigger premise of this film is intimate partner violence. That's what's being promoted here. That even in toxic relationships, you should save it because of your religion, because of Christianity. In 2024, that is such an archaic storyline. We deserve better. His audience, Tyler's, is predominantly Black women Christians. And he feeds that demographic with stories like these. And while watching it, I was like, just for a brief moment, I was like, is Tyler Perry a plant? Why is he showing these characters to the world, really? I think it significantly contributes to how the world views Black women. And that may be saying a lot because at the end of the day, it's just a movie. I get that. But he has a weird view of Black women in relationships. Like the first 12 minutes of this film is a funeral scene. And when I tell you, it's one of the worst scenes I've ever seen. It's so traumatic because he does so much good. But when it comes to his writing, it's terrible at this point. And it doesn't stop there. Joseph Lee Anderson plays her savior. He is so conveniently positioned right there as an old flame who tries to rekindle their relationship that was broken up by her husband, played by Corey Hardrick. And he's just right there conveniently, ready to swoop her up and be her knight in shining armor. The savior plot in 2024. You would think that Tyler Perry's growth in writing would be so well developed at this point. He's been in the film industry for 20 years. He's been, doing stage plays for 30 years. And his writing is still arrested back in the time when he started some 30 years ago. For your writing to be so underdeveloped, and you still be able to get multi-million dollar projects greenlit by studios without blinking an eye. Netflix and Amazon are buying these right away. I know he has development deals, but it's crazy. And I think because so many of us hate watch it, I feel like he thinks that this is a win because his movies become number one on the streaming platforms. But many of us are hate watching to see how ridiculous it is. At the end of the day, his films are like, they're memes, really, meme movies. It's so frustrating because on one hand, he is employing so many Black actors who are getting their just due. And on the other hand, they're terrible projects. And he's employing legends. Richard Lawson plays her preacher dad. Debbie Morgan plays her mom. And they are begging her to get out of this relationship because it's toxic, but she's wielding, the Bible, trying to save her marriage, despite her murderous husband, who is really disgusting to her. She wants to save it. Eventually she relents because she has the savior in her old flame. In 2024, here's the thing. Intimate partner violence plots, male savior complex arcs, and Proverbs 31 woman themes just don't work. As evidenced here in this movie, Divorce in the Black. They're tired, they're dated, and they just don't work. He should be able to come up with something a lot more creative than what he does here in this film. The acting is not good. The music is just not good in this film. The comedy bits and the set pieces are they're so bad. This is not a good movie. He's not hearing the demographic. He is unresponsive to the types of stories we want and we care about. And maybe it's intentional. At any rate, this film is probably already number one on Prime Video, which is unfortunate. And I take the heat for contributing to it, hate watching. He's just got to stop. Love him so much. I love Tyler Perry dearly. But he's got to hire some professional screenwriters who can tell better stories, especially to his target audience, that can tell better stories than what he's been doing for the last 10 years. At any rate, Divorce in the Black is currently streaming on Prime Video.